Hello, everyone. Welcome to You Can Talk. My name is Ruth Finney, and we are here tonight on my Talk to Ruth live sessions. I have some very extremely special guests tonight with me. My very closest friend, my closest sisters, as much as a sister can be. These ladies are just that to me. So I just wanted to spend this night, have this evening, share them with you all, talk with you all about what it is that we have done to stay friends over a lifetime. I know throughout the week you all have been seeing four pictures on my thumbnail. There's four pictures. And now you see two other people on the screen. These other two ladies have been friends of ours, came in a little later into our friendship, but they have joined our sisterhood, our sister circle, and they're just as good of friends to us today as we have been many years. So I would like to just take a moment. I'm just going to introduce, if each and every one of you could just introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about yourself and one or two words that you think makes a good friend. Just one or two words that you think make a good friend. So tell us your name, a little bit about yourself. If you're married, you have kids, and one or two words that you think make a good friend. Cindy, we'll start with you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cindy. I go by Dub C. I've been friends with everybody since about 1999, so I didn't get in at the very beginning, but I got in as soon as I could. I have two children. I'm divorced. I've been divorced since 1999. My daughter is 29, and my son is 24, and now I have a grandson who's about a year and a half.
Awesome.
Two words that I would say for friendship is flexibility and compassion.
Flexibility and compassion. That's awesome. And next to her, we have Dr. Isada Obianoyi. And
good job.
I know I should know now. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Isada, and just one or two words that you think makes a good friend.
Hi, I'm Isata. I am a pharmacist, been a pharmacist for over 10 years now. Can't believe it, but I am. I'm married. I have a kid, and then I have a niece that I do take care of. What I would define as importance as far as friendship, I would say understanding and acceptance. Those are my two words.
Awesome. Right below Isada, you are seeing another sister friend of mine, Kisa, aka Dimples K. Hey, sis.
Hey.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and one or two words that you think defines a good friend.
All right. I'm Kisa again, and I am a chef, and I've been a chef for about 7 years now, officially, but I've been doing it pretty much all my life. And I am in a relationship, but I'm not married, and I don't have any kids, but I have a host of nieces and nephews, and I have plenty to keep me busy. So, and then what I guess I would define as two words for friendship would be absolutely loyalty and trust.
Good. And just to the left of her is V.
Right.
Valencia. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and two words for you.
Yes. Hi, I'm Valencia, and I am married for 11 years. We have two children, a girl and a boy. I'm in human resources, professional HR for about 17 years now. Can't believe it's been that long. And two words to describe a true friendship, I would say two L's: loyalty, Kisa stole mine, and a good listener. A good listener as well. So 2 L's.
Good. And just to the left of her is my good sister friend, Tiffany. Dr. Hunter, please tell us a little bit about yourself in two words that you would describe as a good friend.
Okay, so I'm Tiffany. I'm Dr. Hunter. I'm a doctor of physical therapy. I've been practicing for almost 20 years now. blessed to have my own facility since 2006. Have an amazing hubby and two wonderful kiddos, a boy and a girl also. And I think I joined the friendship in the 80s. We'll just say that, somewhere around sixth grade. I think Ruth, somewhere around second grade. We've been friends since then. So it's been a long journey, and two words would be love, lots and lots of love, and honesty.
All right, awesome. I'm going to take a minute to greet everyone who's come in. I see so many people here, and I won't do this all night. So please, if you come in late, please don't be offended if I don't greet you every time. We just have a lot to talk about tonight, and I want you all to get as much as possible. So good morning. Good morning. I'm so used to doing my morning shows. Good evening, Evelise, Natanya. How are you, Amy? Good to see you, sister. How are you? The Miss Yo-Yo Show. How are you? Thank you for listening. Hey, Kelvin. How are you? That is my honey bunny right there. Burns Junk Closet. Hey, Booski. That's good to see you. Bio 11. Sincerely, a Lucy. Thank you for being here. True fan to you. Titus, how are you, brother? That's my brother-in-law.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Minister of Music,
Mama Cynthia.
Terrence Power, good to see you. Coach Sherry, welcome in. I appreciate you all being here. Mama Cynthia Abraham, that's Keith's mother.
Mama.
Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. All right, ladies, how important is friendship? Let me get one or two of you to tell me, how important is friendship? Valencia, why don't we start with you?
Friendship is key. I believe friendship is very important in relationships. I treasure our friendship and our relationships, but I think it is important because the things that we go through outside of our lives helps guides us with that information. So having someone there to bounce things off on is key, and it's vital, and it's encouraging, it's uplifting. That friendship, that friend is there whenever you may be going through something, no one else knows. You have that one person you can confide in. So it's important to have friendship. We've all been through so much together. We've lost, we've shared great joys, but to have that person to lean on is just vital in life. And so I cherish each one of you guys.
Same here.
Tiff, how important is friendship?
I think friendship is very important. I think it keeps us sane. I think it gives us a peace of mind. I think it, statistically, of course, it helps us live longer. It helps us be healthier. But just personally, for me, it's been everything to guide me through everything from school, finishing school, relationships, outside friendships, marriage, raising kiddos. You're my kiddo's godmommy. So just it takes a village sometimes. So every stage of my life, I think it's important to have someone there that I can call to say, pray with me about this, and be a listening ear about that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Kisa, is talking on the phone and just hanging out enough to make a good friend?
I wouldn't say that's enough. Hanging out and being on the phone is good, and especially if you like in times like this when you can't do anything really but hang out, on the phone is good. But to see you from time to time and get that hug and that face-to-face interaction, to do things together, that really strengthens you, and it strengthens the other person or the other people, and it just makes your bond stronger, if you have that chance to hang out. So I like when we get together, it's like we never were apart, and so that is important. And like right now it's pretty hard not being able to see y'all, especially when we're used to getting together at least a couple of times a year to hang out and catch up. So You need, you need more than that, but if you can't, and during this time, then definitely at least conversations, text messages, whatever it takes to keep in contact.
Right, right. Cindy, what has this friendship meant for you? What has it meant to have friends for you?
Well, I'm gonna
This
say it's
circle of friendship.
yeah, because I don't have a really close knit family, and when I moved to San Antonio, I didn't have any family here, and when I got divorced, my mother was like, "Well, come back to El Paso," and I was like, "No," and she's like, "Well, come back because your family's here," and I was like, "No, my family's here," and that was a lot because of you guys. Um,
Oh.
Here we go. Here we go.
when you say it takes a village, oh my God, it takes a village. They have helped get my kids through school, help buy books when they're in college. My daughter has her master's, my son has his bachelor's. When my daughter was going off to college, Valencia and Ruth took her out to lunch and gave her a True Love Waits ring. And they helped buy her books through college. Kisa, she was always such a vital part. Isa, Tiffany, everybody has always done stuff to help me raise my children. So when I say it takes a village, this village is so tight knit that even if we don't talk for months and months, we're still just one unit. Like when Kisa moved away, I swear my heart was so torn out of my chest. And it took me a while to recover, even though I still had the other girls, but Kisa was like we could sit on the couch and watch TV and not say one word to each other. And then when something had happened on Grey's Anatomy, we could just look at each other and say the exact same thing. When you have that kind of a bond, it means everything. So you guys are my family. You guys are my sisters. And so when I say, sister, I truly, deeply mean family. I mean sister.
Absolutely. Isita, talk to us a little bit about what this friendship has meant for you.
Oh, this friendship has been everything. Let me just start with I'm not a very spiritual person. And after meeting Valencia, the importance of God and what she taught me, and then how we all became close and how I became to love all these ladies was we went to a spiritual retreat. And we all shared a room, and that's when I fell in love with Ruth.
And Isita, you had never been to a retreat, right?
I've never been to a retreat.
She's like, what do you do with these things?
It was so wonderful, and we were so honest, and we were so pure, and we just said how we feel, and it was just awesome. And ever since then, I met me and Cindy and I, our thing is creativity. I can bounce things off of Cindy. She'll tell me, oh, that's gorgeous, that's beautiful, and it will work. Tiffany and I, we share a healthcare profession, so we could talk. She'll tell me how she goes to the pharmacy but the pharmacist, and I'm like, they don't like that. And she was like, no, she loves it. I'm like, no, we don't. We really don't like that. I'm just joking, but so because of I think the whole friendship all became and is because of God, our link, and that's what brought me closer to everyone, because they showed me the importance, I hate to say it, but the importance of God, but which is true.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. Are there things that stick out in people that would help people to be able to recognize the characteristics of what makes a good friend? Like, are there things that you think that people can look for or even be able to recognize to say, this person might be somebody that I consider to be I could have as a long-term friendship? Go ahead.
I think you have to have at least something in common. You may not agree on everything or have everything in common, but key factors, and then a lot of times, the way you're brought up, is a factor in the way that you interact with other people. And then some people, they're not brought up like you are, but you can still find things that you have in common. And I think that's a key factor, as far as looking for somebody in a friendship, and just, being able to be open with them. you know.
Yeah.
And some people you just click with. I mean, honestly. But I mean, like me and you, Ruth, you know, when we first met, you know, you used to pick on me.
Yeah.
I never thought,
Bully. Ruth
you
was
know,
a bully.
yeah, I never thought in a million years that we would be friends. But God had other plans, you know. So I think that plays a part too in it. If you, especially if you know God, and you know, I think that plays a part too, because I never in a million years, you know, I'm thankful for my mom making me go to your birthday party.
Yes.
Because if I hadn't,
Let me
knows what
clarify
we would
this
be.
story. Let me clarify this story. I don't want y'all to think I was beating this girl up.
She was a bully.
Yes, we were in choir together, and she always used to wear this like clip in her hair, and I used to tease her and take her clip out of her hair all the time. And it
All
used
the
to make her
time.
so mad, you know, so mad. And me and another guy that we used to hang out together, we would just laugh about it, and we just thought it was something funny. And so
Yeah.
she didn't like me too much.
No.
And so I invited her to one of our birthday parties because I really did like her. And she did not want to come. And her mom made her come to my birthday party, and we've been best friends ever since.
Yep. That's the truth.
Yes.
Ruth, you know, we were talking today, and I was talking about how we have all such different personalities, but
We
our
do.
foundation is the same, you know. And like I said, it was saying, the foundation and the relationship that we have with God, I really think has cultivated a relationship that is unbreakable. You know,
Right,
and even when we've been
Absolutely.
upset with one another or whatever the case may be, another person steps up and becomes the mediator and make sure that the lines of communication are open and that we don't have any kind of hidden hostility or any kind of, you know, angst towards one another. Because it's, I mean, in all honesty, you guys haven't been perfect. You know I haven't been perfect. And you know how I am, and I don't let people do for me, and I don't let people take care of me. And I've always been that person that I have to do it all. And when I had gotten my thyroid out, and Kisa came and she cooked for Dominique's birthday party all the way from Dallas to San Antonio, and Ruth was like, just sit your butt down. And, you know, her 21st birthday, I think it was her 21st birthday.
Oh, yes.
And Ruth was like, sit your butt down. And I kept trying to get up, and I had just had surgery. And at that point, I realized, you know what? I it's okay for somebody to do for me. And you guys have done for me, you know what I mean? And not just my kids, but even for me. But it's just funny because our personalities are so different, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, we are, for sure. Awesome. Okay. Cindy and Isida came into our friendship later in the years, like kind of around our college years. And we are definitely all very different. We come from different backgrounds. We grew up, you know, differently. But Cindy and Isida, you all's background is even a little bit more diverse than how we grew up. Was there anything that you all felt? Talk to us a little bit about, you know, the culture that you grew up in, and tell us if there was anything that you all felt that you had to adjust to in becoming friends with us.
Why are you laughing, Valencia?
Let me start this.
Yeah, I'll let Isida start because.
Okay, so
I want to hear this.
I'm African. My mom and my dad are from Sierra Leone. My mom was Timini, and my dad is Mende Madingo. So I grew up in an African culture. Everything was very strict. We're very straightforward. We're very blunt, as everyone know about me. And so meeting, because how I became friends throughout the group is through Valencia. We went to college together, and I met Valencia through a boyfriend that I dated. They were all friends. They were all a clique. So it was Valencia, Tiffany, and
Isida, I met you first.
No, you didn't. It was Valencia.
No, you met Tiff first, but go ahead.
Okay, fine.
We about to have a brawl right here on
Tiffany,
this
you
show.
were forgettable. I'm sorry.
No, okay, so it was Tiffany, but my bond became through Valencia. Okay,
Yeah.
so Tiffany, but then my bond became through Valencia or whatever. So I would say for me, I'm very blunt, and a lot of times the things that I said, it was always kind of misinterpreted, and I had to really kind of be like, no, this is me. I don't mean no harm, because I don't know how to sugarcoat stuff.
Yeah.
And the most important one that I remember is the time when Kisa, we went somewhere, and it was Valencia and I and Kisa, and it was some event. And you remember you had a car, and I'm very sarcastic. And so we had the car, and Kisa had the car, and I was joking about the car, and Valencia was like, don't go there. That's a no zone. Don't go there. And I'm like, why? I'm just joking. It doesn't mean anything. And she's like, she's very sensitive about the car. You can't talk about the car. So that's why I couldn't talk about the car. But by that time, I had already threw so many jokes and jabs. I didn't know if Kisa liked me at that point. But that's why I say understanding and acceptance, because sometimes, some people, you don't know them, but once you get to know them, you accept them for who they are. I'm sarcastic. I don't know how to sugarcoat stuff. And if you see me, you understand that this is me and you accept it. That's great,
Right.
And
No,
Cindy,
that's true.
how about you? Tell us a little bit about your background, your culture, how you grew up. And
yeah, my dad is Panamanian, my mother's German. They got divorced when I was about I think I was 9 when they got divorced. I hadn't had a relationship with my father growing up. So, of course, my mom, she would work all the time and everything. And so, I don't know. I know we see it a lot, but in a lot of white households, you can kind of say what you want to say. You don't have those same privileges in Black households. And we had a very open relationship in my house, me and my mother. And I'd say what I want. And if I wasn't going to come home, all I had to do was call and, I ain't coming home, lock the door, lock the top lock, And so I had a lot of freedoms. With those freedoms, I learned a lot as far as not, I didn't get into a lot of trouble, And then when I came here and I got divorced, I was like, I need to start going to church. Something's missing. There's something missing in my life. I didn't know what it was. And so I kept telling myself, you know what, I'll go to church, because maybe at church I'll find a good guy, and maybe I'll fall in love and, all that good stuff. And you know what? I was right. I fell in love with Jesus. I fell in love with myself. And it's a love I hadn't known before. And then I met these girls. And most, I think, I don't even remember if it was Kisa I met first or Ruth. But I know that I've developed relationships with each girl individually. I didn't do it as a whole, as a collective. And then just one day, everybody's at my house watching a show on HBO. I'm not going to say the name of the show while I'm rolling up Valencia's hair. And, and next thing you know, they're at every birthday party, giving out dead goldfish and, making pizza things with like 9, 10, 15 girls, So it just developed quickly. And I haven't looked back. And, my mom knows them as Anies. The kids know them as Annie. My ex-husband finally came to realize these are Anies for life, because he didn't understand the bond or the relationship at first. But when he realized they weren't going nowhere, that they were a set fixture, he knew, everybody knew this is it. So,
Cindy, you bring up a good point. Tiffany and Valencia, both of you all are married. I'm married. And our husbands came into the picture a little bit later. Tiffany actually knew your husband before you knew your husband. We went to middle school together, and I was friends with his sister. And so I knew of him. And Valencia, I met your husband later, way later. He came into the picture way later. What kind of adjustments did they have to make to realize that we weren't going anywhere, that we came with the package, so to speak? And how difficult was it for them to take that? Did you all have to go through any kind of, have any sort of conversations like, hey, where are these girls? Where are these ladies coming from? Why are they at every function? Staying the night at our house? Just all the things that we do. How difficult of an adjustment was it for them? And how did you all go about explaining, what we were to each other? Tiffany, Valencia,
I'll
which
go
either
first.
one.
V,
Yeah,
you
go
want me
ahead, Tiff. Yes.
Okay. So I was super blessed. It was very easy. Like you said, you knew Keith before I even knew him or remembered him. And so by the time I told you about this guy I thought was amazing that I met, and I thought he was so cute and handsome, and you were like, you know him. We went to school with him. So by the time, of course, he knew who I was, he knew who you were, and he's just very welcoming of all my friends. He loves every single one of you, definitely not like I do, but accepts you all wonderfully. So it was never a fight or anything. He knew that, this is my wife's support system. This is, the people in her life that she really loves and cares about. So he accepted it really well.
They have no
Awesome.
choice.
Yeah.
They
I mean,
don't really
I
have a
to
choice,
say-
but we do work to make
Right.
them think that they do.
Right.
Yeah.
Valencia,
Yeah,
how
I was
about
gonna say-
Titus?
Yeah, I was gonna say that Titus didn't have he didn't have a choice in the matter, but to be honest, I mean, it was really easy. I mean, Titus is very laid back, and once he figured out that you women were there to stay and y'all meant something to me, it wasn't a fly-by relationship. This was a 20+ relationship that was already built before I knew him. He knew it was real, so he loved it. He loves our relationship, so he understands and he supports it. I mean, he's the one who's always like, you need to call your friends, you need to go see your friends. So yeah, it's definitely
He's the one calling for birthdays. Happy birthday, sis.
Yeah, he calls. Yeah, so he supported it once he understood that this was a real relationship. These are true friends.
And you know what I love that they do now is like they'll call us. They'll call us and be like, hey, you need to talk to your girl because she's got this going on. She's doing this. It's like they tell on y'all. They tell on y'all, like, get her straight, And I love that they feel comfortable enough to call us and to, do that. And then I'll call and check on y'all and be like, hey, what's going on? How's it going? How you feeling? What's going, different things like that. And I love that. I love that they feel comfortable enough to do that. My husband, he knew you all because we dated when we were 19. So he was there during that phase. So when he found out that we were still together when he and I got back together, he's like, what? Like, you're still friends with those girls? I was like, yeah, where'd you think they were going?
Nowhere.
He was good. Yeah, he was good with it. And except the thing he had to adjust to for sure was how we go spend the night with each other. We take trips together and we all stay in the same hotel. We all stay in the same house, and he's like, what? Like, we don't all have our own spaces? Like, no, we all one big happy family.
All up on each other.
The kids and all. The kids and all. So he was like, whoa, like this is a little bit much, So he definitely had to get adjusted to that. But last time we were together, he just had such a phenomenal time. And he just thought it was awesome. He had a really good time. Something too that I think that we do that's critical, just to share, is that we try not to spend too much time with each other. I think we've gotten smart about figuring just how many days we can hang out with each other and keep everything kosher, because we are different. We do have our own ways that we move through life. And we can easily step on each other's toes. And it's like, okay, we feel that coming. And it's like, okay, I think we're all good. Y'all good? You good? Okay. We're hanging out. And I think that's important. Would y'all agree?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Ruth, I don't know if you shared, Ruth, but we're all in different cities. So
yes.
Yeah. So that's another
thing. We're all in different cities. And at times we've even been in different states. We went to different colleges, all of that, really. So what were some things that y'all think we did that helped to keep us friends during those sort of major life changes? Those are things that typically would break friendships up, right? But we managed to stay together. So what do y'all think that we did? Even now we live in different cities. We live hours away from each other. What are things that we do that y'all think are important, that have been critical, at least maybe for you as an individual, that have kept us close?
I mean, honestly, just the want to still be friends and to still, be sisters, or, however you however you want to put it, even when we're not in the same city or the same state. Like when I moved to Milwaukee, it was the hardest thing I had ever done in my life.
Mine too.
I didn't know anybody,
She didn't know nobody.
literally, I knew nobody. I was going just me and Buster, my dog, and, just keeping in touch with you guys. And it wasn't always easy, and I was super busy at work because I pretty much worked by myself most of the time. But just still having that time to talk to you guys. And then like Tiff came up to visit, Cindy came, and, we, Ruth never got a chance to, because at the time I was really, really sick, with my kidney disease. But, it was just the wanting to keep in touch and to make sure that we were all still okay. And even on those special occasions, I would try and come back as much as I could, anytime there was something on a birthday party or whatever, whenever I could get there, I was definitely going to try, because the want was there, and the need, I still needed you guys,
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was it for me. The want to still be with, I didn't want to lose you guys, basically,
Yeah, we didn't want to lose you either, and we still don't. I'm glad you brought that up, Kisa. You do. We have faced a lot of negative situations, right? And Kisa, you're struggling right now with kidney disease, and she is actually in need of a kidney right now. So, Kisa, tell us, what has it meant for us being in your life going through this? I'm sorry, if you can. I can. Together.
It's because we ate too much shrimp at Red Lobster.
I mean, it's just any type of, when people get diagnosed with stuff, I mean, especially something that is life-threatening, it is hard. And for the first probably 5 years, I didn't even know how to communicate with you guys what I was really feeling and what I was really going through. And a lot of it, I just didn't want y'all to know, because I didn't want y'all to worry, But I always knew that y'all were there for me, and you would reach out to me or try to. And there were times where I just couldn't talk to anybody, but you guys never gave up on me, and me and you, even when you sent me that email and, you were like, are you okay? Do you not want to be friends with me anymore? That was never the case, And at first I took it wrong, but I was in a state of mind to where I was just going through so much that I didn't know how to communicate.
It was tough, and we didn't know how to communicate with you because we didn't know what you needed. We didn't know what you needed. And it was hard because we were so busy wanting to make sure that you didn't feel like we were abandoning you, and our nature is to rally around each other whenever any of us is going through anything. And when it felt like we were being pushed away, I was like, well, maybe she just doesn't, she doesn't want us in her life anymore. Like maybe this is the thing that she, feels is going to, be too much for her. And I think we all had a sense of why, maybe I felt like I think we all definitely thought that you didn't want us to hurt, and we knew that you didn't want us to worry. And maybe you felt like if you just exited quietly that we wouldn't think about you anymore or something, and that was so far from the case. In fact, we did the exact opposite. We got together, we pray, we fast, we do things on a consistent basis, even now, as you're going through this. And we're just so happy that you have come back and been able to accept the love, Tiffany, Kisa, Valencia, Cindy, what were you all's thoughts during that time?
I was hurt. I was really hurt because, I know I joked around about it, but I kept feeling like I had something to do with it. And I know I don't in the back of my head, but I kept thinking, well, if she would have never moved away, if we wouldn't have went up there and ate all that shrimp that time, you know, because I make this joke because we went to Red Lobster for the all-you-can-eat shrimp. And I came back to San Antonio, and like within days, she was in the hospital. And that's when she got diagnosed. And so, you know, we used to watch House a lot. And so I was like, man, did you cut your big toe? Did something happen? You know, so I would make these jokes to kind of try to take away the pain. And when I would text her and she wouldn't respond, or things like that would happen, it would just kill me, because I'm like, well, what did I do wrong? And, you know, and you would replay stuff in your head, like conversations, because I'm very blunt, I'm very direct, like I should have said. And I say what's on my mind. And, you know, I figure, you know, my friends love me, they'll stay, you know. And so I kept replaying. I was like, dang, did I say something to offend her? You know, Ruth, have you spoken to her? Well, did I do something wrong? Is there something y'all need to tell me? You know, and so it was hard. It was really hard because, you know, Kisa was my running dog, man. She was with me. And then the dogs would play together. I mean, we were like inseparable. And then when she moved and all that happened and she got sick and then moved back to Dallas, I was like, well, at least she's closer. I can go visit. But then heck, we couldn't get her on the phone. So it was hard.
I'll add to that. Actually, Kisa, that was reassuring what you just said, because I honestly never knew the real reason as to why you kind of disappeared for a while. So, I mean, I knew it was, I didn't know what was going on, but I knew it was something to do with their sickness. So to hear that helps me. I remember Ruth and I would talk all the time, like, what is going on with Kisa? We can't get in contact with her. And I mean, we were just, Ruth was up to here, you know, Ruth. She gonna call, she gonna send a pipe. I mean, she gonna send everything she can to try to communicate, and she can't get in contact with you. But I will say, though, I am glad that you moved there, because that's when you were diagnosed. I do thank God for that, because we know now when you were there, that's how we found out what was wrong. And I feel like that was a starting preparation of your healing. So as much as we hated that you moved, I'm thankful for that. And I always say that I'm glad that you moved there for us to figure out what was going on with you, and you could be on the road to recovery now. But I mean, I'm just thankful. You've come a long way, girl, and you're gonna make it. You're gonna make it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just back then I didn't know how to deal with it. So I didn't know, I didn't know what I needed, and it was just literally most of the time just me and God, and it was just, I didn't know how to deal with it, and I didn't know how to explain it to you guys. And, and like, even I had another sister friend come up there, Raquel, and she was trying to help me, and, and I couldn't accept the help, because I didn't want to feel like I was losing my independence, because I was so sick. I didn't know how to deal with it. I mean, I had all these issues going on with my kidneys, and it was just a lot, and I just didn't want to. And another thing was, I was so frustrated. I didn't want to lash out at you guys. So I figured just being away, would be the best thing. And I'm sorry. I didn't mean,
No, there's no reason to be sorry, because you have to have those mountaintop experiences sometimes.
Like you said, you didn't know how to deal with it yourself. So we can't expect,
Yeah. I think when I went to visit you, the reality hit me, because you talked to me a little bit about it on the phone, and you're like, I'm okay. And I was like, no, I need to see you, because Kisa's also my cousin. So she's one of my best friends, but she's also my cousin. And I was like, I need to see you, Kimmy. That's our nickname. And I said, I need to. And I think I brought my oldest with me. I think she was 3 at the time. And I was like, no, we need to go see cousin Kisa. We've got to go, and we need to make sure she's okay. So I think I just wanted to see for myself, and just to be with you and love on you, and just give you that feeling that it's okay. We're here for you. We love you, no matter where we need to go or fly and walk through 20 feet of snow to get to you. I think it snowed so much when we got off the plane. But no, I think for me, I just wanted to love on you and let you know that we're here and we love you.
And that was a really, really great time. I mean, I'll never forget, those times, and us going to see the Rockettes, and
Yeah.
it was just, I really needed that. I didn't know I needed it at the time, but I did. So I mean, I'm sorry, just
No,
like I wish I had the communication skills that I have now back then. And I'm glad that we're doing this, because we've never really ever really talked about all of this.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that Ruth has this platform, and hopefully we can be a blessing to some other people, by doing this. So
Kisa, you
And
brought up a
Kisa,
very good point. Also, in the midst of what you said, we do have other friends. We have another friend, and you mentioned Raquel, who also came up and rallied around you. We all have good friends outside of each other, right? We're this sort of inner circle, but we all have really good friends outside of each other, and we've had these friends for years. How do you all go about balancing our friendship with the other friends, other people who come into our lives who we love and adore and spend time with? How do you all balance those friendships with this one?
I'll go. Well, it's funny because I have friends and then I have you guys. It's a different balance. So I it takes a minute to get to sistership from a friendship. And I have maybe a couple people outside of this relationship that I could say that I have a sistership, like Glow. She's been in my corner. She's, done stuff for me, for the kids and all of that. Terry, I've been friends with Terry since Dominique was 1 year old, and so it's been pretty easy because they kind of are compartmentalized. Because Terry's never bled into any of my other relationships. Terry's been Terry, and she thinks she's special and on a pedestal, and she is. So I'm going to say she is. But that's my girl because I've known her for so long. But the relationships are just different. This is a sisterhood, and so I don't have any crossover. So I balance pretty good. Plus, I don't talk to a lot of folks because I don't like nobody.
yeah, well, I was gonna say, outside of you guys, I mean, I have a few other friends, but
They don't compare. They don't compare.
no,
Yeah.
I think it's.
and they understand.
This is true.
Tiffany, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think it's a different bond. Like, I think it's definitely okay to have friendships and relationships, and I do have friends. I mean, we're all blessed to have other people in our life that love us and care about us, and and I do have other close friends, but it's something about history also, and so it's just different when you have that history. It's a different feeling. I don't know. I can't even think of words to explain it, but it's just different when you can kind of look at somebody and say, I can tell. You don't even have to speak words, and you can say something's different about you. And it's from having that history of being down since the 80s or, the 90s or it's something different. It's special.
It's true.
But
Isa, was there something you wanted to say? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I agree with Tiffany. It's true. A friendship like this is non-comparable. And these ladies here, they're so honest, and then they accept you for who you are. They accepted me into the circle. They with open arms, and that's what's important. It's just they accept us and love us for who we are, and that's what it is.
We were all good friends, for at least 10 years before you came into the picture. Was there any feeling of intimidation or worry whether or not you would be accepted, or if we would even be, open to being your friend, or were you good?
Knowing me, is that my issue? No. No. I was never sorry. No, not to be mean or anything. No, that was never my concern. All of this, you love it. Why would you not? You're like, oh, this is fun. She's crazy. She's fun. I'm the extra in the friendship, and that's willing to push the boundaries that I will say no one else is willing to do, which makes it fun for us.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. It does. I love what we all bring to the friendship for
Exactly.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, like I said earlier, I came late to the whole situation. And I used to get like when y'all would be like, well, 13 years, 13 years. Y'all would always say 13 years. And I was like, well, heck, I'm here too now, you know? And I used to be like jealous that I wasn't at the beginning of the friendship because y'all's bond was just so good. But like I said, I developed relationships with each of y'all individually.
Right.
So it was kind of like I just was automatically part of the circle because of the relationships I had with y'all,
Right.
you know. But I used to be like 13 years. I was like, you know, and I'd be like 1 year. So now I'm at what, 21 years.
I want to take some time to open up our talk here to the chat. If you all have any questions in the chat for us, how we got through anything, how we accomplished something, any questions you all have for us, just type it in the chat so we can talk about it. This is not a closed discussion by any means. I just wanted to give time for you all to get to know them, for us to, you know, share a little bit about our friendship. But any questions that you all have for us, please type it in the chat and we'll be happy to answer them for you. And as those questions come up, I'll pop them up on the screen. And in the meantime, we'll just keep talking. We'll just keep talking.
Hey, Ruth, you know what was funny? I was laughing because when you were talking about how did the brother-in-laws adjust to this whole situation, I was thinking about how you were telling me that people thought that Kelvin was married to a white lady because I'd always be like, yo, brother-in-law this, brother-in-law that on the post. And he was like, no, my wife is black. You know?
Yes. On social media, people would you would always be talking and interacting with him, and so yeah, they weren't sure. They weren't sure. So we have a question here from Sade. How are you, Sade? Welcome, Ashley. How do you make new friends over age 30? How do you all make new friends over age 30?
Wow.
All my friends are before 30.
Before 30. So you haven't made any friends over the age of 30.
No,
okay.
To be very honest with you.
Well, I was 30. Well, I was 29 when I met these ladies here.
Yeah.
And
we're
then,
all in our mid 40s and 50, early 50s.
Yeah, I'm 50.
So,
I'm the old one of the bunch.
Yeah, the rest of us are in our mid 40s.
And so I found, like the girls were saying earlier, vulnerability and openness and loyalty. And you can just kind of see, I mean, God's given me the spirit of discernment, so I can read people quite easily, and I can see if I want to mess with them or if I don't want to mess with them. Yep. And I'm very open and very vocal about it when my friends try to start talking to somebody and I don't like them, you know. And so I'm kind of like a watchdog, I guess. But with me, I'm very guarded, and for me to let people in, it takes a lot. And so it's very difficult, and especially now because, like they say, you know, people aren't loyal. And loyalty is very hard to come by. And by you having the same foundation, and I think our belief in God, having that foundation, it has made it easier for us to cultivate a friendship. And I think you can make a friendship like that if you were just to start reaching out to folks, you know, and just kind of open yourself up a little bit, show the vulnerability.
I agree with what Cindy's saying about, I think just be yourself. I've made a lot of friends after the age of 30. I love and I enjoy, like you said, being spiritually connected. I attend IBOC. I've made a lot of amazing friends there. And I've made a lot of friends, sometimes at work even. So I think finding things that you have in common with someone, and then maybe they won't be one of your best friends or your core friends, but you can still, you'll just find out along the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've made friends after 30 as well. I mean, I make friends a lot. I'm a friendly person. I love meeting new people and all that. Number one, I try not to make expectations of people. When you put expectations on people to be your friend, as soon as they fall short of that, we want to dismiss them from our lives. And if you're trying to make a friend, you kind of have to remove expectations and allow people to be the kind of friend that they're able to be. Because if I need a friend that's going to, answer that phone every time I call, respond to my text every time I send out a text, or, be there for me every time I have a need, and they're not able to do that, and I let that be the determining factor as to whether or not I'm going to be their friend, well, then I may not ever, have a friend, because at this age in my life, people who are in their 30s and 40s are typically married. They typically have kids. They're typically very busy. And so people just don't have the kind of time to always pour into people the way that you may think that you need. So you have to accept, to be a friend, you have to be willing to accept what they're able to give, accept that, take it for what it is, and do with it what you will. If you need more, then, and that kind of determines how good of a friend. Like, I know right now, if a new person comes into my life and they need me to talk to me on the phone for hours, or they need me to be at every function that they have, then we're probably not going to be great friends, because I don't have that kind of time. So if they need that from me, then I'm going to kind of back away a little bit from that, because my family, my good friends, all that stuff, they come first. So really, it depends on, I would say, respect when you get over 30 is almost critical. How much this person respects that you have a life, that you have responsibilities, that you have things that you have to do, and you can't just, spend 100% of your time, with these people. And if that's a requirement for you in order to be a friend, then you might have a hard time finding friends.
And that's what I tell people outside of, this friendship, is I don't have to talk and be up underneath you 24 hours a day for you to be my friend.
Right.
Sometimes you have to realize too, when you need to cut negativity out of your life. Sometimes you need to purge certain things away to allow greatness to seep in. And if you have a lot of dead stuff around you, you don't have that opportunity to let those guards down. And I had to do that. I had to do that. There's some people that were just too negative in my life, and we're always with negative things. And I was like, no, I need positivity. You have to realize, what is it that you need for yourself as well.
Right.
I think discernment will show you to be around those that are going to lift you up, whether you're neighbors, whether you're in a walking group, whether you love to garden together, whether you have, spouses that are great friends, or, you might meet them coaching. I have friends I've met coaching volleyball for my daughter. I've had friends I've met dancing. So I think you'll just have discernment, those that are going to be in your life a little bit longer than others.
It's up to friends of season.
All right, we have another question here. Do you all have conflicting beliefs or subjects that you avoid talking about in conversations?
I wouldn't say we avoid it. So I think we a lot of times agree to disagree. I mean, I think that's kind of what has helped us be friends for so long, because we're not going to agree on everything.
Right.
And
We absolutely don't.
right, exactly. And I think it's just going about how we discuss it with each other. And then sometimes there's just some things that we just don't bring up. I mean, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Or we bring it up with certain individuals only. Because when I went through my Buck Wild stage, after I had gotten divorced, I went through a Buck Wild stage. And I didn't talk to everybody about it.
Right.
I'd call her Shirley. I talked to Keisha about it.
Right.
And then if I try to talk to Ruth is always the moral compass and be like, you shouldn't be doing that. So, you know what I mean? So you do avoid talking to certain individuals about certain things. So you do develop, who you can talk to about what.
Yeah.
That is very
I was
true.
able to talk to about everything because she was single too. And we were kind of, hey. So.
We do. We do definitely have friendships within this friendship.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I definitely talk to, Cindy and Kisa, or I talk to Isada about different things. I talk to Tiffany about different, there are certain things I will not bring up to Valencia, or definitely.
Yeah.
So we all, have different things that we talk, because we all know how we feel about different things and different subjects. So we just avoid that person. But the good thing is, we know that there's somebody in the circle that we can go to and talk to about it.
Right. Yeah.
And the other thing that I think that we do this great is we absolutely respect each other's privacy. So I know that I can have a conversation with Cindy. I can have a conversation with Kisa and not have to worry about it getting out. Right. So just because one of us knows something about each other doesn't mean we all know that thing about each other. Yeah.
Right.
But y'all agree?
And like Ruth,
Absolutely.
when you went through that one situation and we didn't know nothing about it, and you sat us down and told us about it, we were like in tears, because we're like, how could we not know this? We're your sisters, why didn't we know this? And it's hard when we don't know something that's so crucial or so important or so pivotal in somebody's life, that you feel like,
there are definitely things that we do this too. Like, there are times where we all get on one call and I share, or one of us will share that important message. Sometimes because it is so difficult, we don't want to have to tell the story 5 and 6 times. And so we just get everybody on a call, or everyone will come to, our house. We'll meet up at a house. We've done that before. And and we'll share the thing one time, have a big crying session, and move on. Then we start supporting each other.
Yeah, we do.
So yeah. Let's see. Cindy said, it's easy if you take it one day at a time. Don't rush or be anxious. Make friends. God will lead you in prayer. Let's see.
Good word, Mama.
Coach Sherry says, I don't talk to my best friend often, and that actually works for us. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, True Fan says, do you guys have roles in the friendship? Who is the funny one? Who is the serious one? Who is the real one? And who likes to party?
I like that question.
Let's guess. Who is the party person?
Yes.
Who is the party person?
Isada's the party person.
Yes. Isada is a pharmacist. No, Isada is a designer, interior designer, and party planner who is disguised as a pharmacist. That's right. She is.
I did the wrong call.
The over the top everything. Yes. I mean, and she goes all out, no holds barred, birthday parties, weddings, baby showers.
And I can't understand when you say you don't want no bling. I'm like, you don't want no bling? What do you mean you don't want no bling?
Nice parties, like it's the last party she's ever gonna have.
Man, I was up till I think 3:00 in the morning putting crystals
for my wedding
on a thing for her wedding, because it wasn't enough bling.
And I'm always
she had to have bling hanging from her chandelier, which was hanging from her chandelier. Hanging over the top of them as they were doing their vows. Yes, Isada does not play when it comes to parties. She takes that very seriously. So who's the funny one?
Cindy.
Cindy.
Crazy.
I thought I was a serious one.
Oh yeah.
No.
Dominique said I was crazy.
Oh, no, crazy. That might be the one. That might be the one.
I think the real one would be Ruth.
Yeah.
And I think
for real. Yeah, I do not have time for phony, fake, whatever, all that. Yeah, I just think serious. Who's the serious one?
Who likes to party?
Valencia is the serious one.
Serious one.
Tiffany
is a good one. She's in the between. She could be the funny one. She plays many roles.
Tiffany's the silly one.
Valencia always looks for the good.
Yeah, she's the funny one, the silly one, but she could also be serious too.
Yeah, Valencia always looks for the good in something. Mm-hmm. And then Tiffany's like motherly.
Yeah, very motherly.
Yes.
She thinks I'm gonna have a crybaby.
Huh? Oh yes, who's the crybaby?
I cry a lot.
Kisa.
Kisa and Cindy for sure.
There was a bet tonight who was gonna cry first, and my bet was on Kisa.
But Cindy
But it was
won.
Cindy who cried
But
first.
Cindy won.
Those are definitely the two criers. Those are definitely the two criers.
Yes. Yes.
Dominique said, of course.
Yeah.
I think I became a crier in my older years. I used to not be a crier, but now I cry over everything.
Cindy used to. Cindy didn't used to cry a lot until she got, I don't know, she hit like 42 or something, and a lot of her
No,
just
you
came.
know, I think it was that one retreat that in fact, I was telling Ruth, I woke up at like 3:00 this morning, 3:45 this morning, crying because I was thinking about that one retreat and about how after that night, and I don't even remember most of the thing. I didn't even remember the drive home, but you guys were like, you know what, let's go. We need to get you out of here. And you guys got me to the house, and I remember waking up in my bed the next day, and I was like trying to recall everything that had happened, and I was like, wow, because God had really moved that night, and I allowed God to use me at a level that I had never been used before, and it was transformative. And that's when I finally learned just to kind of open myself up and say, you know what, God, you use me. And you use me how you need to use me, and it's a whole different level when you allow that to happen. So that's where the tears started.
Yeah.
I blame you guys. No.
We have another question. We're going to be here. We're right at 9:00 here. We'll be here no more than about 15 minutes. So we'll take a few more questions, and then we'll be out for the evening. So which one of you is the daredevil?
Ruth. Ruth.
Me
That
too.
would be me.
No,
Yes.
when you say, hey, I'm going to go learn how to fly a plane. Okay.
Right.
Wait a minute. What?
Yes, I'm definitely the daredevil. I meet very few challenges that I'm not willing to take. So I love to do adventurous things for sure. And they definitely do not agree with a lot of things that I do. They're like, you're married now, you have kids, you need to settle down. Miss Valencia, you need to settle down, you need to calm down. If something happens to you, who's going to take care of your family?
Yeah.
For sure. Yes.
I say a vacation should be a vacation relaxing, not Ruth. She goes on every excursion possible, whether it's flying in the air or under the sea or jumping off of something. I don't agree with that.
Like when we went parasailing, the ride to get to the parasailing was more scary than the parasailing itself. Parasailing to me was so boring, but the ride there, oh my goodness, and the ride back.
And I just watched y'all in the boat. I wasn't going up there. I wasn't going parasailing. Hey, Ruth's sister Hamilton has a question.
Yes, I think this is a great question. I was actually talking about this to another friend of mine earlier. And Cindy, you'll probably be able to answer this question, but with your daughter Dominique. But anyway, it says, can you see the younger generation being able to develop deep and lasting friendships? That's a great question.
Yeah.
With
Cindy, we'll start with you.
Yeah, with Dominique, I think Dominique has always been very guarded. I think she's seen some of the relationships that I've had and I have with you guys, and that's not something that she would open up to a lot of people about. She's finally now at 29 cultivating relationships with people that I believe are going to last a lifetime. Her and Raven's relationship is really close, and I mean they talk a lot, and she's finally developing relationships with women at work, where when she first started nursing a few years ago, she would come home upset because she didn't have nothing in common with these ladies. But now she has stuff in common. She has a kid, and she's been working at her field for a while, and they're talking about continuing education because she wants to go back and get her PhD, and so it's just she's finally at the point where she's opening herself up to allow people in. But it's taken a while, and I don't know if it's because of what she's seen with me or if it's because I've been so guarded. I really don't know. But even coming up in high school and stuff, had she had friends, but they were more like colleagues or acquaintances. They weren't like
Associates. Yeah.
Anyone
Yeah,
else
so
want to take us a jab at that answer?
I
Question.
think it's possible. I think it's very possible. It's all about just understanding the person, being willing to communicate with the person. And from there, once you guys like talk and get to know each other, love the person for who they are, I feel like anybody could develop a friendship and it could last forever. I really feel that way.
So let me ask this. What do you all think are some of the challenges that this younger generation faces that is preventing them from having these lasting relationships?
Social
They
media.
don't talk anymore.
they don't
phone is
talk.
the
Their
devil.
telephone, social
The
media.
phone is the devil. And
No
social media.
relationships. It's all texting and yeah.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah, I just feel like social media puts on this facade,
yeah.
and everybody's competing to this facade. And I don't just be you, like we all said within this group, be yourself. And if you could be open and honest with someone, that's what it is. That's what a friendship is being
Right.
open and honest and transparent.
Yeah.
I don't like
Yeah.
what you did to me today. And then the other
Yes.
person has to be able to accept. Yes, okay,
Yes.
I was wrong. Yes, I was out of line. I apologize. And there's nothing wrong with because everyone in our friendship right now, in our dynamics, we all have ups, downs, issues within one another. It's just being able to realize and understand, hey, I messed up. I apologize. And the other person is like, yes, this was wrong. I apologize. And then y'all move on and don't, and y'all forgive and forget it. That's what it
Yes. Stop bringing it up repeatedly. Yeah.
is. Exactly. I think it's possible. It's just, they have to, the social media, leave that alone. Those are fake friends and all of that. Don't go by that.
Yeah.
You know what I think too is
100%
challenging. Oh, I'm sorry. What I think too
Yeah, I
is
said I
challenging.
100% agree.
What I would think too is challenging for them is that social media creates so much competition between them.
It's all about
And
the
yeah,
Okay.
that prevents them from feeling like they can be a friend because they feel like they're too busy competing with their so-called friends.
That's it.
But this is the thing about that, though, is in this world, America, everywhere, it's so much for everyone here. It shouldn't be a competition. You could have it, I can have it, you can have it, we all can have it. Let's work together and make it great.
Yeah.
There's no reason why, oh, this person have it, I can't have it. There's no such thing. If you're willing to work hard, do whatever it takes, you could be that. Y'all could all be at the same status quo. So why would that be an issue? It shouldn't be an issue. You should all work together to make it happen as one, if that's your friend.
Right.
Yeah. You know, I was fortunate though too, like with Dominique and DeMarco, because like I had a lot of rules in place because like I said, I didn't have rules growing up. I can kind of do what I wanted to do. You know, I didn't allow computers in the room. They didn't have a television in the room. They didn't have locks on their door, you know, because this is my house. You know, I pay the bills. You know, you want privacy, you get a job and move out. That's when you get your privacy. But the thing is I've always been very open about my communication with them. And so their friends would talk to me about all kinds of stuff. So when they would bring people home, or if you know, like my kids were very involved in sports, they'd always want to ride with me because, you know, I was the cool mom. I was the one that they could talk to about anything. And so like when I would ask Dominique, how so and so with this situation, she's like, well, they talked to you more about it than they did me. What? Well, don't you know the answer? I'm like, well, I didn't know, you know. I'm like, well, ask the questions. That's all you got to do is ask the questions.
Yeah.
But communication's key.
Yeah.
All right, who's the introvert?
Not me.
I don't think any of us are
I don't think
introverts.
any of us are. I don't think we have an introvert in this group. You won't survive long in this group.
Valencia.
I'm an introvert outside of you guys.
Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah.
but when I first met y'all, I wasn't very talkative and stuff, you know. And I'm more of an observer when I first meet people, you know, and I have to get to know, because I'm like, I have the spirit of discernment, you know, and I can I can tell you off the bat sometimes, no, that person's got issues, or that person, something going on with that person. Even like when at work, when people, come in for interviews, I can tell you right away, nope, nope. And not just because of what they're saying, but I can just
Their mannerisms.
yeah, their mannerisms feed off their energy, all of that, and I'm so that way, people think I'm quiet, but I'm really not until once I get to know you.
You're observing.
Right.
If I'm quiet, it's because I don't like you.
Yeah, me too. or I feel like there's something, something's not
fishy
right.
about you.
Yeah, and until I get to know you better, then I'll be talkative. But
so here's my last question. We have always been each other's friends, and so we know what friendship looks like. But for someone who doesn't know what friendship looks like, what makes a good friend? What should they be looking for? What's critical? What's critical for them to be able to recognize? And I asked this question earlier, but when we first kind of started, but I want to ask it again, because I really want people who don't have this base of knowledge of what a good friendship looks like, what they should be looking for. Like we talk about, they need to see that energy. We use in discernment, but what are we looking at? What exactly are we looking at when we look at these people?
Honesty, communication,
right,
acceptance,
compassion.
And
I also think you have to vulnerability, Tiff. Is that what you said? Yeah.
Being real. You can just be real.
Yeah.
Trustworthy
is very important.
Yes.
I'm huge on integrity. Like, do your actions line up with what's coming out of your mouth? I'm huge on that.
Right.
It's funny. I think about what Pastor Brown used to say. Like, let's say you go somewhere and they cheat at spades. Well, then they cheat their life. You can see little traits, and little traits just by
those
how
red flags,
how they act around other folks. And then I was like, and that's why I used to say, man, Pastor Brown ruined me to get with anybody ever, because everything's a red flag.
yes.
I'm like,
those red flags that you don't think and I remember thinking too, like if they talk about their friends, if they're talking about their other friends to you, if they're gossipy about their other friends, right? Or if they're disrespectful to their sisters and their brothers or their mothers and fathers, then
important.
Yes, that is so critical.
Bad things about their family, then another way.
Yes.
And I think also too, each friend or friendship is going to be different. You're going to get different things out of each friendship, and like the way you communicate with each person is going to be different. And I think you have to figure out what you want from that person or need from that person, maybe, or what they need from you, what they want from you. Yeah. And, you go from there, like, we all have our different, Tiffany and I go back and forth, joking and, ragging on each other or whatever, Cindy and I, we sit on the couch and watch TV, or whatever, and Ruth and I are like, our conversations get real deep a lot of the times, and I mean, Valencia and I joke, we have our, our way of, getting along, and Isata, we don't know each other as well as I do with, because we don't get to spend a lot of time with each other. Right. But when we do see each other, it's like we, haven't been apart.
Exactly.
So I think it just depends on your definition of friendship and what you need or want out of that too.
Right.
Yes, I agree. Well, I don't have anything else. We're coming up on an hour and 15 minutes. I want to thank you ladies for being here. You guys were absolutely awesome. I hope that everyone in the chat got something beneficial or some little nugget of something that they can look at and, bring into their lives, take to their friendships, reevaluate how they see their friendships, how they look at people. And be able to be a better friend and also be willing to accept friends into their life. So for sure, I thank each and every one of you all for being my sister friend. I love y'all so much. I love y'all so much.
Thank you for inviting me. This
Yeah.
was very wonderful. I felt very
You have to
honored.
pray out.
And I even thank your moms, your parents for, keeping us friends.
Oh, yes.
Because they are the ones that kept us
Foundation.
friends, right? Like the whole slumber parties and going to each other's birthday parties and, spending nights and, all the things we did. Our friendship started with our parents, and our parents aren't like extremely best friends as we are, but they all are, good friends.
They facilitated the friendship.
Facilitated it in our younger years, and then we just sort of took off with it. So I think if that's something to say too, if you're a parent with a child, encourage your children to be good friends, to help foster those
And the
relationships.
importance of friendship and family.
And that's also critical to help your child develop friendships instead of being like, don't bother them. If they did that to you, then don't worry about it. You don't need them in your life anyway, right? Those are the kind of conversations that we want to have with our children. We want to teach them how to be a better friend. If this happened, talk with them about this, share, tell them how you felt. We walk them through those difficult things that young kids can go through that would typically split them up so that you teach them how to be a better friend.
Right.
Treating others how you want to be treated is so important. And we tell our kids all the time, treat them how you want to be treated. So
absolutely.
I just want to say that I'm just thankful that God is using you in this platform, and I really am proud of you.
Yes.
Letting him use you.
Don't y'all start me crying.
And I just want to say that even just doing this for us, I think has taken our sisterhood to another level tonight.
Absolutely.
I concur.
You want me to be a part of this?
I tell you, Ruth, I tell you all the time how proud I am for you, for all that you've done with this whole ministry. You've honestly listened to God and you've heard him and you've been obedient.
Yeah. You all were the first ones I told.
Yes.
And y'all's faces when I told y'all that I was going to get on social media.
Like,
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You're going to do what?
I was like, you won't even get on Facebook.
After I threatened y'all to ever put a picture of me on social media.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Vernell says, yes, you have to teach your children how to go to their parents so their parents can go to their brother or their sister parents and resolve the issue in the story. Absolutely.
Yes.
Everyone's so proud. Yes, this is one of my...
Especially with all this bullying and stuff like that that's going on. It's so important for us to be involved and understand what our kids are going through, because social media is a whole different beast.
Communication. Communicate. You got to communicate with them.
Mm-hmm.
Talk.
Yeah.
Yes, you got to talk. Talk it out. Talk it out.
Yeah, okay.
All right, I'm going to say a prayer and then we're going to head out for the night. All right. All right, Father, we just come thanking you for this time. We thank you for this platform. Father, you know all the issues that the enemy was trying to just stop this night from happening. I just pray that something we said tonight blesses every single person that spent even 1 minute in this chat listening. For those who will be watching the replay, Lord, I just pray that you touch their lives, touch their hearts. Thank you for this friendship that we've had over the years. Just pray that you continue to bless it, to continue to nurture it, and help us to teach others how to be good friends as well. Father, we have poured into each other for so many years, and now we're in a place where we're able to pour into others. So Father, just help us to be willing and courageous to do those things, to show others how to be good friends, and to allow our friendship to continue to be a blessing to all who come into our lives. Father, those people who are struggling with their friends right now, who haven't talked to their friends in years, who fell out over issues that they may not even remember why they fell out. Father, just open their hearts, knock down the barriers, and create the conversations, create the space, the safe spaces for them to go back and talk to those friends and heal those wounds that the enemy tries to keep open so that they can become, get back to being the friends that they once were. Nothing is impossible, Father, for those who believe and trust in you and who are obedient to your word. So, Father, I just ask that you bless all those friendships out there that need healing. Teach people, help show them that how to forgive so that they can become back connected with who they once were good friends with. So, Father, we know that you can do anything and all things, that nothing is impossible. So, Father, we know that whatever issue that has broken up a friendship, we just ask that people be able to cast those things into the sea of forgetfulness and forgive and be able to get back friends, even if they're not as close as they were, but just to be able to be in a healthy space, to be able to exist in the same room together without there being issues, Lord. We thank you. Bless each and every person who was a witness to this conversation tonight. And these things I ask in your son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Right.
Amen.
All right, everyone. Thank you all. We appreciate you. And I will see you all on Monday for my ABCs of the tongue types. If you are not connected to this channel, please hit that subscribe button and become a part of this talk family. And I'm on every morning just about, where I do the ABCs of tongue types right now. So we're learning how to talk through people who have those different kinds of strong personalities. And I put out tips and lessons on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So become a part of this. Don't miss being a part of this talk family. All right. You all have a good night. Take care. And we'll see you all next week.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.